Hey guys, so you're gonna wanna go ahead and create a space for painting. It can be your desk, it can be your dining room table, it can be a corner of your room. Just find a place where you can go to paint. You're gonna spend a lot of time working in this space, so I'm gonna show you how I've set up my home studio and give you 5 tips for you to consider when creating your space to paint. Tip number 1 is to set the vibe. You want to create a space that will give you creative energy. Make it a comfortable and inspiring space. Display your supplies. Play music. Put up some art that you love. Make it a space that you want to spend time in making art. Since you may share a space with family or roommates, you'll want to have some kind of schedule so you know when the space is yours. Where we create can be just as important as how, when, and why we create. So go ahead and set the vibe in your very own home workspace. Tip number 2 is your easel. Now easels are great because they stand your painting up for you. And this is so that your eye can kind of take in the entirety of your canvas all at once. Rather than, sometimes we like to work flat on the table. That's fine, but take a look at where my eyes are right now. They're about maybe 45 degrees away from my canvas rather than directly parallel. And if I'm trying to work on proportions or composition and my eyes are at this 45-degree angle, there's going to be some skewing that happens. So you just want to make sure if you are working flat on a table that every once in a while you prop it up, maybe take a few steps back, maybe 4 or 5 steps back, something like that, just so again you can take in that whole image. And just make sure that your proportions and your composition are all correct. This plant is going to be my subject right now. It's my still life. You want to make sure that when you're painting, you're not blocking your still life and having to kind of look around your easel and paint, because that, it's just going to not be as exact of a painting that you probably want. You just want to make sure to kind of position your easel a little bit out of the way so that you can comfortably just move your eyes back and forth between your subject and your painting. You're also going to want to have proper ergonomic body positioning when painting. And this is just to avoid, stress and fatigue on your body. But basically you want to be standing comfortably in front of your easel. Your feet are kind of shoulder width apart, your knees are relaxed, they're not, super stiff, and your body's relaxed. But again, you're standing up straight, your shoulders are back, and you just have good, proper ergonomic positioning. You also want to keep in mind that fixed point of view. So again, if my subject is over here on the wall, I'm just kind of trying to remember that my eyes are always in, this position. My body's in this position, so my eyes are in that fixed point of view. So that when I am going back, I'm looking at my still life or my subject, going to my painting and painting it back and forth, my eyes are really never changing the angle that they're looking at the subject from. For example, if you did, move off to the side, all of your angles are going to change. To determine your easel's height and the height it should be at when you're painting, you just want to go ahead and stick your arm out so that you're at a 90-degree angle, your body and your arm here. And you should be touching your canvas somewhere in the middle here. If when you do this you're touching the very bottom or the very top of your canvas, go ahead and just adjust the height. But again, your hand should be, it should be comfortably touching the center area of your canvas. When sitting, if you're going to sit and paint, same thing applies. You want to keep your back straight, both feet on the floor, kind of tilt your body a little bit away from your subject so that it's not blocking. And in any position that you do, just kind of do body scans every once in a while just to make sure that you're maintaining that fixed body position. Tip number 2 is light. You want to go find a lamp that you can use or a window that you can paint nearby, and you just want to see if you can place your canvas and your light in a position where you're not really creating any shadows. So for me, I'm right-handed, and if I put my light on the right side of my hand and the brush are going to create a shadow, and it's not going to be good because I can't see my canvas very well in the dark here. So I'm going to be sure that I have it on my non-dominant side, which is my left. And then something else that I'm going to look out for are these kind of like hot spots that lamps create, or glares, things like that. Really what you're looking for is a nice, even light that's spread evenly throughout your canvas. Okay, so something like that would be good. You know, this is not good because look at how one side is lit and one side is in the dark. Just keep moving it until it works for you. Your hand's not creating a shadow and the light is nice and even. Okay, give that a try and see what you can get.
One more tip about lighting, and that's if you are preparing to do some web conferencing or doing a webcam meeting or making some videos. Anytime you're going to use your computer's webcam, you want to just try to avoid backlighting. And that's when the light behind you is brighter than the light that's in front of you. So for me, there's windows back there, there's some lights on, it's really bright back there. You can tell the webcam for me is focusing not on me, but on what's behind me, those lights. So I would, you want to face the light as much as you can, either have a light here or just turn your desk around, so that you're always facing the light and not facing away from it. Tip number 4 is to take breaks. Use the 20-20-20-20 rule. For every 20 minutes you spend looking at your painting, look at something else that is 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Then go take a lap around the room for at least another 20 seconds and stretch out your legs and body. Tip number 5 is minimizing the mess. So painting comes with a lot of stuff. Clean it up right away. It's just a good habit to get into. It helps you to avoid being overwhelmed later. Plus, you might be sharing the space with someone else, and in that case, it's just common courtesy. Wipe up any paint drips before they dry if you can with a wet paper towel or a towel, a rag or something. And then you want to try to remove as much acrylic paint from your paintbrushes as you can before you go to rinse them in your sink. And this is just to avoid clogging your sink with acrylic paint. You can also just fold your palette paper in half if that's what you're using and toss it. If you're using a reusable palette though, same thing with brushes, you want to just wipe it with a paper towel, get as much of that acrylic paint off of there before you rinse in your sink. Then just put everything back in its place and you'll be ready to go for the next painting session. There you go. I've shared 5 tips for setting up your workspace. Now let's see your space. Post your photo below and I'll see you in the next video where I'll show you how to set up your supplies. See you then.